In this Circuits of the Past video, we'll show you 10 forgotten F1 tracks. You'll see how the old Formula 1 circuits look today. But before we start the top 10, we need to ask you something. Are you a nostalgic motorsports fan? Subscribe to this YouTube channel then, pretty please, for videos from historic motorsport venues. Number 10. Circuit Zolder. The Circuit Zolder is a 4.011 kilometre, or 2.492 mile, long permanent racetrack in the northeast of Belgium. It opened on the June 19th, 1963, and hosted the Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix for the first time in 1973. After Old Spa-Francorchamps was found too dangerous, Formula 1 moved in 1972 first to another forgotten circuit in Belgium. We'll see that one later on in a video. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And if you want to see a lap of Old Spa-Francorchamps, then we have another cool video named Old Spa-Francorchamps Full Lap with Abandoned Sections. Pretty self-explanatory. It was actually the plan to alternate the Belgian Grand Prix between the other forgotten F1 track, wink wink nudge nudge, and Zolder. But because the other one ran into financial trouble, the Grand Prix settled at Zolder from 1975. Sadly enough, Circuit Zolder is also famous for the fatal accident of Gilles Villeneuve during the qualifying for the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix. Here on the descent, he hit the march of Jochen Mass. The Ferrari was torn up in the accident, and whilst rolling, Villeneuve was thrown from the car. On the site where he stopped is now a memorial. After Villeneuve's fatal accident, the Belgian Grand Prix was then held at the new Spa-Francorchamps circuit in 1983, before returning to Zolder for one more time in 1984. Ferrari driver Michele Alboreto won the race carrying Villeneuve's number 27 on his car. Again, it was the intention to alternate the Belgian Grand Prix between Zolder, which is in the Flemish region, and Spa-Francorchamps in the Walloon region. However, since 1985 the Belgian Grand Prix has settled down at Spa-Francorchamps permanently. After losing Formula 1, it hosted many other races, including DTM and the annual 24 Hours of Zolder. But the Circuit of Zolder is not only a motorsport venue, it also hosts cycling events, which are very popular in Belgium. And did you know that 3 times a week in the evening, random people can ride their bicycle on the track itself? Surely that's a track guide for the future, Herman. Number 9. Estoril. The Estoril circuit opened its doors in 1972. It's located north of the seaside resort of Estoril, not too far from the Portuguese capital of Lisbon. The layout is characterised by an outer ring of fast, flowing corners and a long start-finish straight. Inside is a smaller ring with slower corners and a shorter straight with a fast kink. Between 1975 and 1978, this circuit fell into disrepair due to financial problems. After a takeover by the state and a thorough overhaul, it was again suitable for international races. In 1984, Formula 1 came to Estoril for the first time. A year later, Ayrton Senna won his very first Grand Prix here during a legendary rain race. But after the 1996 Grand Prix, the Estoril circuit was moved from the Formula 1 calendar. A major renovation was started in 1999 to make the circuit suitable for Formula 1 again, but Formula 1 sadly never did return to Estoril. It was during the 1999 renovation that Herman, the founder of this YouTube channel, visited Estoril and took these series of photos. After losing the Portuguese Formula 1 Grand Prix, Estoril has been used for touring car races and motorcycle races like the MotoGP, which it hosted from 2000 right the way up to 2012. Number 8. Clermont-Ferrand. The Clermont-Ferrand circuit was a street circuit around an extinct volcano in the Puy-de-Dôme region of France. The 5-mile-long circuit opened in 1958 and contained a challenging mix of different corners and elevation changes. For that reason, it was nicknamed the French Nürburgring. The old Clermont-Ferrand circuit hosted the Formula 1 French Grand Prix in 1965, 69, 70 and 1972. During the 1972 Grand Prix, today's Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko lost his left eye by a freak accident at the Clermont-Ferrand circuit. Marko was hit by a stone launched by Ronnie Peterson's March. The stone went straight through his visor and landed in his left eye. Because the old Clermont-Ferrand circuit was found to be too dangerous just in general, not to mention there's a volcano nearby, Jiminy Crickets, it also lost the French Grand Prix and other international races. Until 1998, it was just used for national races, and then sadly the street circuit closed for motorsport totally. However, the General Council in Puy-de-Dôme region recognised that there was an interest around the circuit to build the local economy. So with their financial support, a new 2.47 mile circuit was built. They used part of the old circuit and built a new connection onto it. So the new circuit, which opened in 1989, it now became a permanent racetrack and was known under the name of Circuit de Chérade. Most of the old Formula One circuit is still there, and it's now public road, and there's also a small abandoned section between the public road and the current Chérade circuit. Number 7. Montjuïc. The Montjuïc street circuit was located in Montjuïc Park in Barcelona. With its mixture of challenging corners, elevation changes, spot the theme, architecture and natural beauty, it was one of the most scenic street circuits probably ever created. The 2.36 mile long circuit hosted 4 times the Formula One Spanish Grand Prix between 1969 and 1975. In the other years, the Grand Prix was alternated with Jarama. During the 1975 Grand Prix, German driver Rolf Stommelen crashed after his rear wing on his car broke. Stommelen survived the crash, but 3 marshals and a reporter sadly died. That crash meant that the end was coming for Formula One races at the Montjuïc Park, and until 1986 it was still used for motorcycle races. But even then it was found to be too dangerous for racing at all, and so after 1986 the street circuit was closed and never used again for racing. Today the actual street circuit is still there, but it's a public road now of course. So if you want to, you can still do a full lap just at low speed, sit back and enjoy all that beautiful scenery. I recommend a picnic. Number 6. Avus. The Avus in Berlin, Germany is one of the most peculiar forgotten F1 tracks ever. In fact, it was an experimental multiple lane highway that could also be used as a racetrack. The Avus opened in 1921 and was one of the fastest circuits in the world. 2 very long straights connected with an artificial loop on both sides. The original Avus was 12.160 miles long, but the first reconstruction came in 1936 when a new road was planned to an exposition site next to the Avus. The Nordkurve, German for North Corner, would make way for this new road, but as a compensation, a new high-banked Nordkurve was going to be built. Actually, a similar corner was also planned to replace the South Loop. The works were already underway when World War II broke out, and today you can still see the remains of the unfinished South Corner. In 1954 there was a Formula One race at the Avus, which was not counting for the championship. However, for political reasons, in 1959 the German Grand Prix was held at the Avus officially, to give the people in the Russian occupation zone the opportunity to visit a Formula One race. In 1959, the German Grand Prix was also the only Formula One race ever that was driven over 2 heats. After 1959, Formula One never returned back to the Avus. The circuit was then mainly used for touring car races and races for the German Formula 3 Championship. For safety reasons, the high-banked North Corner, nicknamed the Wall of Death, which I think probably explains itself, was demolished and replaced by a flat corner. But the Avus was still a dangerous circuit, and after the 1998 season it was closed forever. However, in 1999 there was one finale event to say goodbye to the most peculiar forgotten F1 track. Alrighty, take a stretch. We're halfway through. You're doing well, people, you're doing well. If you're liking it so far, don't forget to subscribe and hit on that notification bell. You know what to do, you YouTubers. Alright, let's get going. Number 5. Pescara. You can't not say that like that. The Pescara street circuit in Italy was, with its length of 15.894 miles long, the longest Formula One circuit ever. The layout contained 2 4-mile long straights, Crikey, don't tell Hermann Tilke. And a twisty section through the mountains and villages. The circuit was operational from 1924 right the way up to 1961 and hosted Formula One races in 1954, 56 and 57, with only the 1957 edition counting towards the Formula One World Championship. Because of the annual Italian Grand Prix being held at Monza, they named this F1 race the Pescara Grand Prix. As an interesting aside, there were also Grand Prix races held here in the 1920s and 30s at Pescara, but it wasn't known as that then, and it was held under the name of the Coppa Asabo. The Pescara circuit was challenging, but surprise surprise, very dangerous. For the 1957 Pescara Grand Prix, Enzo Ferrari would not let his team compete in the race. That was because of a huge accident that took the lives of 13 people during the Mille Miglia earlier that year. After the accident, the Italian government banned racing on public roads, but the Pescara Grand Prix was given special permission to take place. The 1957 Pescara Grand Prix was won by Stirling Moss, but after 1957, Formula One would never return. Number 4. Aintree. Most people would think about a horse racetrack when we hear about the name Aintree. Indeed I do when I go past it on the train. But Aintree was also a motor racing circuit that hosted a Formula One Grand Prix 5 times in the 1950s and early 1960s. The Aintree Grand Prix circuit was a 3-mile motor racing circuit near Liverpool, and it was partly located within the famous Aintree horse racecourse that used the same grandstands too. The old Aintree Grand Prix circuit contained a loop around the horse track and a loop around a golf course. Crikey, 3 for the price of 1. And between both loops, it used public roads to connect both sections. It was actually a little bit of a semi-street circuit. In the years 1955, 57, 59, 61 and 62, Aintree hosted the Formula One British Grand Prix. In addition to the Grand Prix, the circuit also hosted non-championship Formula One races known as the Aintree 200. On the first ever event at the Aintree circuit in 1954, the track was driven counterclockwise, and then after that they changed the driving direction to clockwise. After the last Formula One race at Aintree in 1962, the British Grand Prix alternated for the next decades between Silverstone and Brands Hatch. Since 1987, the British Grand Prix has been settled at Silverstone. The last ever race that was taken place on the full Aintree Grand Prix circuit was in 1964. Then they abandoned the loop around the horse track. What remained was a 1.37 mile long short club circuit, which was used for car sprints, track days and motorcycle racing. Interestingly, most of the old Grand Prix circuit is still actually there, but some parts are now used as a camera road for the horse racetrack. So, if you fancy betting a few flutterings on the horse's nag, why not take a look at the Grand Prix circuit too? Number 3. The Roskilde Ring. The Roskilde Ring was the first permanent track in Denmark. It opened in 1955 as a private initiative of local businessman Paul Fostrup. The circuit was built in an old gravel pit that formed a kind of natural amphitheatre. The track was only 0.8575, that's very specific, miles short, with banked corners and absolutely no straights. Banned, Hermann Tilke, banned. Sir Stirling Moss described the Roskilde Ring as a most peculiar raceway. That's very British, Stirling. From 1960 up to 1968, the Roskilde Ring hosted the Danish Grand Prix for Formula 2 and Formula 3 cars. And in 1961 and 1962, it was a non-championship Formula 1 race. However, because the circuit was built in a city park between residences, there was so many complaints about, yes, it's a familiar theme on this channel, the noise! Bum bum bum! As a result, that meant that the circuit had to close, and the last race was held at September 22nd, 1968. Today the site of the old racetrack is now a recreation park, which is also called the Roskilde Ring, as a tribute to the former circuit. In the nearby hotel you can find some photos showcasing the good old days. This lost F1 track is so forgotten that even Kevin Magnussen, born in Roskilde, didn't even know about it. Dutch Formula One reporter Olav Mol told him after Herman, the founder of the Circuits of the Past YouTube channel and website, informed Olaf Mol about the Roskilde Ring. No one knew! There we go. Informing the F1 drivers. I'd love to see a feature of K-Mag going and seeing it. Number 2. Riverside. The Riverside International Raceway was a 3.3 mile long road circuit in California, USA, which was operational from 1957 through to 1989. This track had 6 different layouts, 2 ovals and 4 road courses. The longest road course was 5.3 kilometres long, and all versions had a turn 1 of the oval included in its map. In 1960, it hosted the Formula One US Grand Prix, which was won by Sir Stirling Moss, popping up again Stirling. Aside from that single F1 race, it was often used for NASCAR. However, in 1983, this track was bought by a new owner. He sold the property on in 1988 to a new developer who wanted to build a shopping centre on the location instead. Now, you can't get round that shopping centre just on shopping carts trying to recreate this track, sadly, because there's absolutely nothing left of the Riverside International Raceway. It is gone, lost forever in time. But hey, you've all got coupons. Number 1. Nivelles. The Nivelles circuit in Belgium opened in 1971 as a safer alternative to the old Spa-Francorchamps. The circuit was designed by Dutchman John Hugenholtz, who designed the tracks like Suzuka, Jarama, and the stadium section of Hockenheim. The Nivelles circuit hosted the Formula One Belgian Grand Prix in 1972 and 1974. Both races were won by Emerson Fittipaldi, and it was actually the intention to alternate the Grand Prix between Nivelles and Zolder, as we heard earlier on in the video. Nivelles wasn't very popular with the drivers or the public. That was because, among other things, Nivelles was ahead of its time as far as safety was concerned, with huge runoff areas beside the track. As a result of that, the Nivelles circuit went into history as a flat, boring track, but that's actually not very fair. The layout contained elevation changes and challenging corner selections. Another reason for its bad reputation is that the circuit was never actually finished. The design foresaw a longer track, but because they couldn't bring enough money to buy up that necessary land, they bought a shorter 3.7 kilometre version first, and built that. The intention was then to expand the circuit later, but that was a huge misstep, because once the circuit was there, the landowners all around them thought, I'll have some more money please, and asked for it. And so the Nivelles circuit couldn't afford that, and therefore was never fully finished. Soon the Nivelles circuit ran into financial difficulty. After 2 Formula One races, they could just no longer meet the requirements to hold another one, and so they lost the Formula One race after just 2 Grand Prix. In 1981, the circuit licence expired and the circuit closed its doors for good. After its closure, it was often used for illegal racing. A certain Hermann Lischmeyer visited the abandoned circuit at Nivelles in the spring of 1998 for the very first time. He was just in time, because shortly after that they started knocking it down. It inspired him though to start a website and then later a YouTube channel about lost race circuits. What's it called? 3, 2, 1, say it after me, Circuits of the Past. My name's Simon Smith, I do the voiceovers for the Circuits of the Past YouTube channel, and I have a gaming channel called Higher Plane Games if you're interested. As I said, in 1998, the first work started to change the abandoned circuit of Nivelles into a business park. The actual demolition started in 1999, but part of the track remained until 2020. Unfortunately, this part is now also demolished for an expansion of a business park. And that makes the circuit of Nivelles number 1 in our forgotten F1 track list. Did you spot a circuit missing in this list? Do you have any corrections? Do you have anything you would like to offer? Stick it down in the comments. Go on, you know we read them all. You can find out more information about the forgotten F1 tracks in this video on the website circuitsofthepast.com. There you can also download a free ebook about 7 abandoned circuits that you can visit legally. For now though, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more memories from Circuits of the Past.